What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 136 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
We are going to be looking into more Scarlet and Violet stuff because we got more trailers and you're under the weather, and so this is something that I can easily talk about by myself.
Yeah, the intro and this, speech is about all I'm going to speak in this episode, so good luck, have fun.
Yeah. Carter's a little under the weather right now, but
God, dude, I feel miserable, and it's been like this for like a week.
for those that may not know or may not live in the Midwest, when the temperature changes, it usually kills everybody who lives here. Myself included.
Yeah, it's awful. It is absolutely awful. Basically, if you can't hear it in my voice, consider yourself lucky because I sound awful. Jay and I played a couple games of Overwatch together the other night, and I texted him and I said, "Hey, heads up, I sound like Batman turned into a really bad smoker." And I get on, he goes, "You underestimated how bad you sound." I was like, "Oh, awesome. Love that."
To be fair, I think you sound better than you have been, probably.
Oh yeah. We haven't actually talked. We've done a lot of messaging this week, so you haven't actually got to hear how terrible I've sounded.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing a whole lot of talking this time because I have a lot of cool things that I want to talk about from the trailer, cool Pokemon things that we've seen, and all that jazz, while Carter sits there and takes care of his nose and tries not to blow everybody's eardrums out.
Look, I'm gonna try to mute as much as I possibly can. I'm sorry in advance if you had to do extra editing to make sure no one hears it.
So for those that may not know, we had a nice little trailer to kind of get us ready. We're just a little bit over a month out from Scarlet and Violet's release, and so everyone was expecting this to be the middle evolution trailer, the kind of here's everything, get ready to go. This is like the last hurrah trailer before the game comes out. And we got no middle evolutions leaked, so that's cool. I feel like if we don't get those before Scarlet and Violet, I think it'll be kind of cool. But we did get a whole lot of in-depth look at a lot of the story, some new mechanics, some returning mechanics, and things like that. So
did we get middle or final evolutions released for Gen 8?
I don't remember. It's been so long.
I remember purposely going in blind, but I don't remember if they were ever revealed.
Because couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
I remember playing, and I messaged you the Pokédex entries for the Score Bunny line. I said, "I swear to all that's holy, if this becomes a fighting type, I'm gonna lose it."
No, it stayed pure fire. It's just a soccer player.
Yep. I was very surprised. I'm like, it's over here talking about how strong it can kick. I'm gonna hate this. I know this is gonna go wrong. And then it didn't. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So we have we got a couple new Pokemon revealed too. One intentional, a lot of them not intentional. Good job, Game Freak. Fun fact: the leaked thing that everyone was talking about was only in the U.S. and U.K. trailer. They were apparently, the way it was looking is the US and UK trailers recording for a certain scene was on an older build of the game. Because in the Japanese version of the trailer, they don't, the one thing, the leaked Pokemon in the minimap aren't there.
Interesting.
And the other big thing is the animations in the Japanese build that was shown off are much smoother and crisper than the kind of freaky looking Sunflora. I don't know if you remember the Sunflora, the game for the gym in that trailer, where everything like the Sunflora were kind of just like frame hopping behind you.
Mm-hmm.
In the Japanese trailer, it looks so much better. It is so
Good.
much more
Good.
polished. And so that everyone's kind of just like, oh, so these Pokemon aren't really the Pokemon. It's more placeholders for certain Pokemon. So we'll kind of touch on those a little bit. One of them's like a salt Pokemon. It was like like a Mario mushroom with a salt block on its head.
Yeah, it kind of looks like if you took a mushroom and put a Minecraft block in its cap.
Yeah.
Is kind of the best way to describe it.
There was also this cute mouse Pokemon.
But evidently there's two of them on the mini map,
Yeah.
and the supposed leak is that it's one Pokemon. Like the two is one.
Interesting.
I've seen that running around on the Twitterverse, so take that with a grain of salt.
Who knows? And then the other last one was this parakeet, this green and yellow parakeet looking Pokemon, which we've had a parrot before in Chatot, but this is just, I don't know why they just didn't like reuse Chatot in this case, but it'll be cool to see what they end up actually being in game for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, do we want to jump into the Twitter stuff that I have pulled up, or do you want to just jump into the trailer and then come back?
We can touch on the Twitter stuff a little bit later.
Okay.
I kind of want to finish going through this trailer here.
Sure.
Other than the random leaked Pokemon that were in the mini map thing, we got to see Girafarig's evolution. Farigiraf, I think is how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Yep.
And for those that have been part of the leak community, that Pokemon had been spoiled like months ago.
Yeah, it's been spoiled for a while now, so not really surprised to see it.
I'm happy that we finally like have it confirmed, because that's like it confirms a lot of other things that these leakers have been saying that hadn't been confirmed yet, and so it's really cool having this extra information.
Yeah, it adds just a little extra sense of reliability to the leaks.
Yeah, validity essentially.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of the word.
But Farafarig or Farigiraf being normal psychic's really cool still. It's gonna kind of be like that Indeedee kind of thing where it's immune to ghost. You don't have to worry about that. You only have really two big weaknesses in bug and dark.
Bug and dark, yeah. Because being psychic removes your fighting weakness as well, so that's really nice. You know, just I'm really hoping. What I really like about this is this now makes Girafarig
DPEC viable.
DPEC, yeah, legal. So having access to Girafarig with Eviolite could be actually really useful. How good are its defenses?
I don't remember. I couldn't tell you.
I can tell you here in about 2 seconds. Let's see. We're talking down the board. We have 70, 80, 65, 90, 65, 85. So, I mean, that's
That's
okay.
Decent defenses, actually.
all things considered, like 65 in your defenses. I mean, that puts you at essentially 90-ish, almost 100 base, like with Eviolite.
Yeah.
And then you have base 90 special attack as well. Like, that's pretty okay.
For DPEC, that's really good.
And you have Sap Sipper, so you have like an immunity as well. Inner Focus is whatever. Early Bird's not that great. But yeah, this is really cool.
However, Farigiraf's abilities are really, really cool.
Agreed.
It got two new abilities, Armor Tail and Kudchu. Armor Tail is essentially Queenly Majesty. It prevents the use of priority moves against you, which, if this Pokemon has access to Trick Room, that means there's no more Fake Out against you, no more Prankster Taunt. So you kind of get to take control of how that first Trick Room turn goes, because you kind of get to either prevent their taunt, prevent their interaction that's not priority based, essentially.
What's really interesting about it is the way it is worded. It implies it prevents all priority moves, whereas with Queenly Majesty, it stops all priority damaging moves. It's like the original like tweet that the Pokemon Company put out. So, really interested to see how this actually goes.
Yeah, if it's true Queenly Majesty, or it's essentially a fixed, I would call it Queenly Majesty.
Yeah, if it's just like static psychic terrain for your team, essentially, or however you want to think about it.
Yeah, that'd actually be kind of cool. The other ability, Kudchu, kind of works like Stuffed Cheeks or other like unique berry abilities, but instead of getting a double dose on your berry one after the other, you essentially get one at the time, and then at the end of the next turn you get another one. So that's kind of cool. Kind of could give you some.
Not quite gluttony.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, like it's not quite gluttony. It's not quite Stuffed Cheeks. It's spread out a little bit, so there's some cool things you can do there. Probably some weird mechanic things you can probably get away with, I would say. Someone's bound to make Kudchu just a nasty ability, right? Like, there's so many berries in the game. There's something that's got to be really good.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how well it works out.
Yep. Moving away from new Pokemon, we got some cool confirmations about terastallizing and things like that. The big thing here is terastallization raids are a thing, which we kind of saw from other trailers. But that's not the only way to find terastallized Pokemon. Certain terastallization types can also be found in the wild, which that's kind of just like a solo 1v1 thing. We got to see this cool Jigglypuff battle who had terastallization water type. And if you beat the Terra type, it kind of breaks the crystallization so you can catch it, and then you can add it to your party. We also kind of got to see how like terastallization stab works, which I know I sent you.
This is really interesting.
I know I sent you a link for that one.
So the original information we were going off of was that the multiplier for terastallization was going to remove your additional typings to change you to the new typing, and therefore give you stab on those moves. And if you terastallize to one of the types that you already have, it of course removes your second type if there is one. And instead of being a 1.5 times boost for your stab attacks, it is a 2 times boost.
Yeah.
There is now information, which again I could be wrong about this. That 2 times boost is separate from stab, is the way it kind of reads and the way it kind of looks, and like the damage calc we've seen. Which, if that's the case, that's kind of insane.
Yeah, so it's going to become a balance of certain Pokemon are going to be able to terastallize and abuse their typing. Think like the immediate thing that comes to mind is like Rotom.
I'll say the first thing that my mind went to was Regieleki.
Well, we don't have that one for sure yet, so
its electric moves are going to be so powerful that it's going to be able to knock out Landorus. Like,
Um,
it's
but
kind of absurd.
Pokemon that would want to stick to their typings like a Rotom, like we mentioned this way back when we were doing the terrestrialization first look at. Like Rotom's going to be really good with this. Want to keep its stab typings, so you could do like stab. You could make yourself a pure electric type, so you have no weaknesses. You could do stab, thunderbolt with that, and
or
could
discharge or pick
just
an electric
blow
move.
people up.
Yeah.
So the way the damage is looking here, it's about double. It's about double the damage from what your normal move would be. And that's pretty good for terrestrialization. Now that being said, it is just a one-time thing. You're kind of once you do it, you're stuck with it. It'll be your Pokemon will be that way for the rest of the time. So your opponents can probably play around that kind of thing. And so I think this is going to make this mechanic both good offensively and defensively, kind of like how Dynamax was, and it's going to cause a lot of kind of push and pull on games and open up the door for more like unique team building strategies, because there'll be these teams that use terrestrialization defensively with really strong like Pokemon, like like we saw Tyranitar in the trailer doing it with becoming a ghost type. Like remove your big fighting weakness, remove your fairy weakness, remove anything that could be a problem for you, and become a ghost type means that you kind of just still get to just beat people up and use Terra Blast to do whatever. Or there's going to be people who are going to do the more offensive, taking a Pokemon that has fairly good ability, maybe a decent typing, and just turn it into this super sweeper with terrestrialization.
I am really curious of how this is going to work in damage calcs, and I'm very glad that I don't have to program it, because that's above my pay grade.
The way it's looking, it's probably exactly just instead of being like a 1.5 multiplier, it's probably closer to 2.75 or something like that. Because I'm not sure exactly what the percentages would be for this to make your move damage double the way it's looking like it's doing here. But maybe someone who does all this stuff can figure it out, and they'll be able to get it working pretty quickly.
Yeah, it looks really cute. It looks just fantastic. I'm very excited for it. And like the distress on Twitter is stupid.
Yeah.
The fact that people are already hating on it when we have literally like a single trailer showing damage ranges from a single attack. Where it was like, I can't.
Yep, I know, Bub. People are going to want to post their opinions everywhere. It's going to always usually, like, the ones we hear are always like, oh, terrestrialization's going to be terrible, it's going to be busted. Well, people were saying that about Megas when it was happening. People were saying it about Z moves when it happened. People were still saying it about Dynamax. Honestly, I really think terrestrialization is the most balanced of all of them so far from what we're seeing. You're getting a damage increase, but all your opponent has to do is hit you. Your opponent still just gets to hit you. It's not like Dynamax where you're doubling your HP. It's not weird like a Z move, like where they can protect through it and you just wasted your one chance. It's not like restrictive like Mega Evolution was, where only certain Pokemon get to do this, and of those certain Pokemon you're only playing with maybe a small handful, and those define the meta. Like, it was terrestrialization. I feel like it's going to be the best parts of Dynamax without all the absurd like HP numbers and really big defensive like damage dealing things. It's going to be a little bit better than Dynamax, I feel like.
Yeah, it's gonna be really awesome. I'm very, very excited.
Moving on through other new mechanics we got to see a little bit of. We got to see more of the auto battler system, which that plays a role in the Team Star storyline. You use that to help you get to the bosses and things like that. Which the auto battler system also ties in to another mechanic, which this is brand new. It's called TM crafting.
Yeah, so the speculation is that TMs are not going to be reusable. They're going to be single use.
Yeah.
So they're going back to the old system that it was, which, sure, whatever. Because they're making it where you now are able to craft TMs. So you have unlimited access to all of them, essentially. My initial hope is that the pieces that you need to be able to craft them are purchasable with actual, like, Poké dollars, and not, oh, go run around the landscape and pick up random items for the next 37 hours looking for one thing that you are extremely unfortunate to be able to not find.
So what it is you have to have so many league points. So that's playing through the gym challenge, I'm assuming. You'll get points for completing things and doing stuff like that. The other resources are the things you get through battling wild Pokemon with the auto battler. That's the other part of the resource. That's where you need to grind that stuff out. And so it's not a matter of getting lucky. You just kind of have to go to where the Pokemon spawn.
I still hope we can just purchase them.
I don't think you'll be able to. You might be able to. But a lot of the time, I don't think you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
The cool thing about open world games and collecting these things and doing this kind of stuff is they usually are fairly easy to kind of grind and get these resources fairly easily. I know they did something similar in PLA where you have to grind your resources so you can make Pokeballs. You could also buy Pokeballs, but it was going to cost you a lot more money and a lot more time to just flat out buy Pokeballs, which you're also able to find the TMs just naturally. And I'm assuming if you find the TMs naturally, you're able to craft more of them. But this also gets rid of the TR system, which I wasn't technically a big fan of from Sword and Shield.
My biggest complaint about the TR system was having to soft reset my game to obtain the ones I wanted. Because doing it the way they intend you to, by doing raids, is stupid, and I wasn't going to do that.
Like, you either got lucky and got it in the raids you needed, or you had to do the time skip thing, go through the wild area and do all that. And the other big thing was it just added a bunch of extra, like, learnable moves that didn't need to be in the game. Ally Switch being, like, one of the biggest offenders, right? Ally Switch is a TR now. That means it's a learnable move. Everybody that can learn Ally Switch can just have it out on whim.
Have it, slapped on you at all points. Yeah.
There's just certain things like that didn't need to be TRs that you could have just made a TM and have been fine. Things like Flamethrower was a TR. Fire Blast was a TR. They put these really, like, common usable moves as a TRs for single use, and it kind of just felt awkward or hard to get a hold of a lot of the time, which for casual play, you want that to be hard, but for people who are getting resources playing competitively, you really don't want that to be any harder than it has to be. And I feel like the system's going to be the best of both worlds. You get to put more powerful moves because they are single use, and you as the player have to still gather the resources and play the game in order to access these things. But you also aren't just having 50 TMs and then 100 TRs. You don't have 150 things to gather and 150 learnable moves. It's going to be probably whatever 7,500 TMs, and that's it.
Yeah, I do think that is a good change. I think reducing the amount of moves accessible by all Pokemon is a good thing. But also at the same time, I'm really hoping we don't get more moves deleted, but in reality, I'm sure we're going to. Just like I don't anticipate having every Pokemon in every game from here forward. I also think that like as Pokemon advances and adds more moves, we're going to see more moves get removed as well.
Yeah, like things will like duplicate things will probably start to get pushed out. They may redesign certain things to better adhere to the game that's coming out for that time. Looking through, I have the trailers kind of frozen on the screen because I really don't want to forget to talk about the cool thing that got leaked from the screen. But I see like Thunder Fang, Fire Fang, Ice Fang, all really early TMs. There's Infestation. There's looks like Charm or Attract, whichever one that is. Looks like Mudshot, Psybeam, Metal Claw, Rest, Icy Wind. So there's currently, the way it looks, let me see here. How many, what number is that one? I think that says 130. So there's at least 130 TMs.
I'm currently trying to fast forward through the trailer so I can find that. And I think I might have gone too far.
Time code is about 450.
Oh yeah, I'm at 13 something.
Yeah, it's real early on.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
So yeah, so looking through this little thing here, there's about 130 TMs to learn, which is really cool. So
at least, yeah.
Yeah, at minimum. So I would assume it's probably that 150 mark is where they want to probably hard cut it.
Oh, interesting. I don't know if anyone has actually brought this up. Komala's back in the game.
So we saw Komala early on in a trailer somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Komala's been
I don't remember
known for
seeing it because it's one of those Pokemon that's like pretty easily forgettable in my opinion. So like seeing it back is kind of cool.
It wasn't very good if I remember correctly.
No, it is not a good Pokemon.
On that same screen, which we got through the TMs here, TM number 5 is Mudshot or Mudslap, one of the two, and that is a Grimer. Grimer had not been seen in the game yet, which makes me hopeful that we get a Alolan Grimer and a Alolan Muck in the game.
Okay, see, I have heard this, and I am watching this. Oh, right there. Okay.
Yeah. I am super excited because I thought Alolan Muck was one of my favorite Pokemon from Gen 7. And I am super excited if it is in Gen 9 to be able to play with it.
I used Alolan Muck on my Ultra Sun playthrough and fell in love with it there. So I fully understand. It is a very cool Pokemon that competitively I think is exceptionally good. And I am very excited for it to be back.
Cool. Other than the Grimer, there's no new Pokemon hiding in the screens at all. There's a Shinx, that's a Hatterene, that's a Venonat, that's a Gardevoir. Something getting hit by Metal Claw, I'm not sure what that is.
Venonat is like also revealed in this trailer, right?
Venonat was revealed fairly early on too.
Okay.
That was one we had pretty early on.
I'm trying to see TM. What number is that? 10.
TM10.
I can't tell what 8 9 and 10
That's
are.
Fire Fang, Thunder Fang, Ice Fang.
Yeah, but I can't tell what Pokemon they are.
Oh, I couldn't tell you. They did a very good job of hiding them in that case.
I wonder if those are going to be new Pokemon that they just don't want revealed yet.
Maybe.
8 kinda, like, I can kinda see like a Vulpix on this left hand side. That also could just be a giant pile of fire. I don't know. I'm probably reading too much into it.
Yeah. Trying to think of other new Pokemon. Oh, the Rookidee line got confirmed through the trailer in the minimap leak. So we have Rookidee, Corvisquire, and Corviknight in the game, which is again super duper cool. Snom got confirmed in this trailer, if I remember correctly. That was a new one. And then I believe there was one other. Litleo got confirmed through the trailer. It was in the game.
That one was new.
And then I think there was one other new one. Numel and Camerupt, I think, got confirmed for this game.
So what that means is we're getting Mega Camerupt back.
No, just normal Camerupt.
Carl, why do you hate us?
We don't need Mega Evolutions back as much as you think we do. I'm not disagreeing,
but the general public hates you now for saying that.
They can get over it.
I'm already over it.
Toxel and I think Toxtricity also got confirmed. I don't remember where, but I think they were confirmed in the trailer.
I feel like they were from an older trailer. And we saw them. They weren't one that was like on the like billboard, right?
No, they weren't one on the billboard.
It's nothing like that. See, I also tried to flip through, and I never saw the leaked Pokemon on the mini maps either.
So the mini map thing, I believe, got fixed.
Oh, interesting.
They fixed it and reposted the video.
Interesting.
But yeah, there's I think it was like something like 400 Pokemon, I think is what we're looking at currently for the decks, which that would put it right on par with Sword and Shield pre DLC. Which I assume we'll get DLC for this game. Like, there's no reason not to at this point. Like, you've opened the door for this. There's no reason why you can't. Trying to get to that point. There it is. I found it. So yeah, so there's the 2 mice, the parakeet, this mushroom salt thing, and then Rookidee. So if you go to the timestamp of 7/17, you'll get the minimap leak.
Oh, did we talk about the parrot?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep. But yeah, that's the minimap leak. That's only in the US and UK trailer. It is not in the Japanese trailer.
Yeah, see, I was trying to flip through to find it, and got it.
There was also a second error in this trailer. Would you like to know what it is?
Is it in the Japanese one?
So it is another difference between the Japanese and the US trailers. Specifically in the sandwich screen. So for the US UK trailer, we have regular Johto Wooper.
Yes.
Instead of the Paldean Wooper that the Japanese
that they ended up with. Interesting.
That the Japanese one had. And so a lot of people were like, "Oh, we're going to have both." Well, they came out and said, "No, this is a mistake. It's supposed to be a Paldean Wooper right there for the video."
Interesting.
Further pushing the fact that this is probably an older build of the game and why the animations for our trailer look like crap.
So the one that I was referring to if you go back to when they were crafting, which is like you said, around the 4 minute mark.
Yeah, 450,
40, something like that.
450 something.
If you watch this, there is a moment where in our trailers, one of the items is question marked out, whereas in the Japanese trailer, it is not. And the translation is roughly like bead spider or something like that. And so a lot of people are anticipating that because it is question marked out, it is a new Pokemon that they are not wanting to reveal yet.
Probably.
So yeah, the rough translation is something about a bead spider. So
Neat.
Potential new Pokemon there as well.
Beyond all that new mechanic stuff, we got more about the story, got to see the star path, team path, got the path of legends for like some Herba Mystica thing or whatever it's called. Talking like battling with the Titans for regions and things like that, trying to collect stuff. This was another big like tell about terrestrialization, how the damage works. We got to see this Drifloon terrestrialize into a grass type and then use Terror Blast onto this cloth, and it did a lot of damage.
Yes, it did.
Which, to be fair, we know Terror Blast, I believe, was quoted as a 60 or 80 base power move. And if it's stab on top of that, the damage range seems to be within the range. We also don't know, like, I don't think we know levels in that little clip there. I don't think we ever saw level 27. And we don't know, like, what the level of this Cloth Titan encounter is, right? So if you're over leveled, you're going to do more damage. That's just how this works. If you're under leveled, you're going to still do damage, but probably not that much.
So another thing that was released in this trailer is the new mechanic to get eggs.
Yes, the Pokemon Picnic.
Yes.
This is a big deal for competitive for sure. Because no longer will you be breeding Pokemon. You kind of just be hoping you get lucky, I guess. I'm not sure. We're not sure exactly how this all works, but during Pokemon Picnic, there is a chance for you to acquire Pokemon eggs. We're not sure how any of it works yet. We'll probably know more once people get their hands on the game and people go into more detail on it.
So my initial thought is that it's based on the Pokemon in your party.
Yeah.
And having the potential like egg groups in there. So in the trailer, the party that the trainer has here is Paldean Wooper, Goomy, the new monkey thing.
Grafai.
Yes. Sableye, Sprigatito, and then Miraidon is the red one.
Koraidon is the red one.
Okay. And I don't know. I don't think Wooper and Goomy are a compatible egg group. Like Johto Wooper.
Probably not.
Which makes me think that they're probably not compatible now either.
No.
So then it's probably Grafai and maybe Sableye?
You also could be reading too much into it, and
I could, yes.
But we would probably not be sure.
Yeah, I 100% could just be overanalyzing this for the sake of analyzing it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But are you ready for this? Are you ready to play Sandwich Simulator 5000?
Not as good as Goat Simulator 4, whichever one is out now.
But you get to make sandwiches now instead of curry. It's training us all to be Subway employees.
I don't know if you can believe this, but In Pokemon, I've never made curry.
It's funny because there's actually a whole shiny hunting method through curry.
What?
There's a whole way to get encounters through curry hunting, and they have a special mark. I think I just broke Carter, guys.
Hold on, I need to go do research.
So there was this whole thing where you could use curry and you'll get wild Pokemon to go through. And the whole idea is you shiny hunt that way. It's full odds, so it's not very like reliable. But the shiny you would have the mark for the curry mark. There's a special mark for it. And you would have that, and they would know, oh, that came from this encounter and this phenomenon.
See, now I want to see this mark and see if it's worth it.
It's not. It's not worth it. There's a reason, like, only people who really, really didn't like themselves did it. People who really didn't value their time. The last big thing here, we got to see more of the terrestrialization raid battles. No longer are the turn-based, you take a turn, the opponent raid battle takes a turn, then you all take a turn again. It's kind of just a free-for-all. Very much similar to like Pokemon Go raids, where everyone's just going and the Pokemon that's the raid boss is just attacking. There was some speculation that they may have done some cool things for sleep. Like mechanical changes to sleep, because in the trailer there's a Drifblim and a Faraf. I'm going to get this backwards every time.
Paragraph?
Yeah. That are asleep but still attacking.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
Alright, now I'm flipping through.
1150 is the timestamp. This Drifblim has the sleepy icon next to its head. Drifblim, Shadow Ball, and Drifblim is using Shadow Ball on the screen.
So if you watch it, the Drifblim specifically happens after its attack is started. Same with the Paragraph. And I'm currently watching it to see if it ever attacks with the symbol on there. Okay, Paragraph actually does.
Yeah.
But then the symbol immediately goes away.
Which is why so I don't know how far into Pokemon Legends Arceus you got into.
Not very.
So in Pokemon Legends Arceus, they changed sleep to be drowsy. Drowsy lets you still attack. But there is a chance that your attack will not happen, but you also take increased damage while drowsy. Which, this is what the speculation is sleep. This is not sleep, this is the Pokemon being drowsy.
We also don't know if this is actually related to normal battles or if it's just
a mechanic in the raid. Yeah, we don't know yet.
Because let me tell you, getting put to sleep in a raid is terrible.
But currently, the current setup here, what it looks to be, is for these raids, sleep is not sleep. Sleep is more akin to probably what drowsy is. Which is really cool, because that might mean they turned freeze into frostbite. Which is really, really cool.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Like, that would change the whole dynamic of every, like, ice type move ever. Being able to inflict frostbite instead of getting lucky freezes means that your opponent can still play the game.
Yeah, the freeze mechanic is pretty broken.
And so I think if that's what they did, that is a very good quality of life change. It would be a very big, like, dynamic change to the game. Things like Ice Beam, Blizzard, Freeze Dry would all have a frostbite chance instead of a freeze chance, and you might be able to tweak those numbers so it happens a little bit more often than what freeze does now. Because the opponent still gets to play the game when they're frostbit instead of sitting there waiting to die.
Having a random chance to thaw out every turn, that will never happen because you got exceedingly unlucky.
Yeah. But yeah, that was another big thing I wanted to bring up because that's a pretty big change if it is true.
Agreed.
It also looks like, just like in Dynamax Adventures, in the Dynamax raids, terrestrialization raids are 100% catch rate. It looks like, with the way that the catch animation worked. You threw the Pokeball hits the Chansey goes in the Pokeball, it literally shakes one time, caught.
To be fair, this could be editing magic because the way it looks, it comes down. It looks like there's there could be a cut from where it rocks forward because
there is as someone who does all this type of stuff, there is literally 0 cuts in that entire animation.
Oh, dude, it's so weird for it to have a very quick, like, zoom in like that. I don't know. I could be wrong. You very well could be correct.
Like, as the person who is watching that, there is almost 0 chance for it to be a cut. Because if it is a cut, it wouldn't zoom in. It would just appear.
That's true.
So there would have to be more editing magic done to that animation, and that just looks... Also, it'd be really big feel bads if you do that and then you don't get anything. Right? Like, the Dynamax raids, when you were by yourself solo, were always 100% guaranteed. The online ones were always the ones where you couldn't get anything, and it always felt terrible. Which is why no one played with anyone in raids unless it was some silly event for, like, the Mewtwo thing or some big stuff like that. And I think going to this, especially since they want you to play together, getting rid of that downside for playing together is good for the game.
I agree. I do think that is a good change.
But that wraps up the entire trailer. That's the last thing we see for the trailer.
Oh, did we talk about Wiglet?
Oh, we haven't talked about Wiglet on here yet, no.
Yeah, Wiglet got introduced last week.
Something like that.
At some environmental, I don't know, some
so
conference
it was
or
a
something.
fake webinar.
Gotcha.
You could even get the certificate for sitting through it, which is hilarious. I have it. I sat through the entire thing and I have it.
Fantastic.
But Wiglet is adorable. It is an example of what people call convergent evolution instead of divergent evolution. Gonna get real big science talk here for a minute. So the regional forms are based on divergent, where it's the same species put in different environments ending up differently. Right? So convergent evolution, the way it works is they both evolve separately at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Diglett and we have Wiglet. They aren't related, like they aren't the same species, but they're close enough to look the same. They have similar features and things like that.
That is correct, yes.
And Wiglet is pure water type. We have no clue if this thing evolves. Fun fact: Wiglet's name in Japanese is literally translates to water Diglett.
Which is just perfect.
Yeah, which is why the name in English is Wiglet. It makes sense.
Yep, just water Diglett.
Water Diglett. I think Sizor got confirmed through this trailer specifically. I don't think we had seen Sizor. We just assumed Sizor was in the game because we saw Scyther.
Was it from the TM?
It was on a picture. Like people were taking the picture thing, taking pictures and all that. I believe that's where it was from.
Was it?
I believe that's the only place I remember seeing Sizor.
Fast forwarding. Fast forwarding. Watching a gym battle. Let's see. There's styling my hair and my eyebrows.
Oh yeah, there's really cool like customization for facial features and whatnot.
I see no Scizor.
The Sizor thing I think is really early. Because there's Scyther in a Pokeball in a trade.
Let's see. I got nothing.
Did we know about Slowpoke?
I don't actually know the answer to that.
Well, Slowpoke got showed off early, so that's kind of cool. It means we get Slowbro and Slowking.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a Scyther or a Scizor, but whatever.
Scyther's really early during that trade sequence at the start of the trailer.
Oh, up front. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So that's the trailer. Now, there is a couple other things we can talk about here. The good people over at Central Links has compiled a list. Well, let me rephrase it. Has reposted a list of the Pokemon being able to be like transferred into the game, as well as those that are like natively in Paldea. Huge shout outs to Pearl Enthusiast and the Riddler Coup and the Pokemon Code Cracking server. If you're not interested in spoilers, you have approximately 5 more seconds before I get into actually talking about specifics here. And alright, cool. So now that I'm not dying, we can talk about this. So this is, I'm assuming you're gonna throw this up on the screen. If not, whatever. This is the list that has been rumored of like what Pokemon are gonna be obtainable, old Pokemon that are gonna be obtainable in the new games. Interestingly, there is a group of Pokemon that are only able to be transferred in from home, of which I believe includes 40 species, like 40 individual Pokemon, not counting like evolutionary lines as one. And I think those are really interesting. Those involved Charizard as the only Kanto starter, Samurott as the only Unova, Typhlosion as the only Johto, and Decidueye as the only
Alola.
Thank you. Notably, though, that those three, because they are from Legends Arceus
Yeah, the
are
Hisuian
able
forms.
to be those forms exclusively. Also, a bunch of mythicals being able to be brought over, including Mew, Victini, Meloetta, and Magearna. So,
and Deontay.
oh yeah, excuse me, completely overlooked it.
The other big thing here I'm seeing is Gen 6 starters.
Yeah, which we obviously do not have in Sword and Shield, so that's cool.
That's gonna be really cool. We get Greninja back. That'll be cool for VGC.
Notably, no other like
No
full
battle
lines of
bond.
starters. Every other like group of starters is just like individual ones.
Yep. I see Kanto Burbs. I see Time, Space, and Void. I've got the GD trio, so Landorus is back.
Hooray!
And then there's a whole lot of the Hisuian lines here. Weird Deer, Cleavor, Ursaluna, the Basculesian combo, Sneasler. I get to bring my shiny Overquill over, which I'm excited for.
Oh, that's sick. I didn't know you had
And
one.
then Enamorus, which actually is the 4th Genie form. I still have to do the Genie quest in Legends Arceus.
Same.
Looking over the rest of this, I don't see anything out of the ordinary that I didn't already know, like leak-wise. Looking. Masquerain, I think, was something I didn't know about.
Is Dragonite new, or is that one already revealed?
We saw Dratini
Okay,
somewhere,
cool.
so we kind of knew Dragonite was coming. Grump Pig, I don't remember seeing anything about it, but there's probably a Spoink
I
somewhere.
remember Spoink, but I could.
There's probably a Spoink somewhere. Swalot's gonna be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Someone like Swalot out there.
Good Gen 3 representation, I feel like, this time around.
World Champion
Pachirisu?
Pachirisu.
Excited for that.
Floatzel as well. Garchomp, Lucario, Spiritomb, Luminion.
Oh, heck yes.
Yeah, that one's really cool. Let's see. Looking at the Gen 5 list, we have Alola Mola and Electros, which we already knew about.
We get Beartic, Cryogonal, Crocodile. From Gen 5, Volcarona's coming in too. Braviary. So we have some good Defiant Mons, looks like, here as well, which is cool.
Interestingly, we have Lilligant, but no Whimsicott.
I think I'm okay with that.
I don't know how to feel.
Um,
My heart feels like it's been ripped out, Carl.
nah, we're fine. We have Murkrow to be your Tailwind setter. It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Looking through Gen 6, we have much better Gen 6 representation, I feel like, this time.
Get Go-Goat and Florges and
Pyroar.
Pyroar, Vivillon. Everything else I think is already in Sword and Shield on this list.
Yeah. We get to keep Hawlucha, which is cool.
Looking at the Gen 7 list, we get Young Goose, Crabrawler, Oricorio, which I think we already knew about.
Yep, we knew about Oricorio already.
Lycanroc is new.
Lycanroc was put in through the DLCs, but
No, I meant
for this,
yeah.
I believe so.
Pukamuku,
We might have already seen it.
Komala, we have Bruxish, and then of course all the Gen 8 Pokemon are obviously in Gen 8. So
Yeah.
see, we get Donphan back. That's cool. We get Fortress.
We get Ursaring.
I'm really excited for like Ursaring and Ursaluna as well. I think those are going to be very unique.
Ursaluna is going to be really cool. Being normal ground, it's going to have a really good typing. It's really cool with its like bulky stats. We'll have to see like what they actually translate to in a game, like in an actual Pokemon game. but there's a whole lot here that I'm really excited for dex wise. We might do a way too early tier list here soon. Now that we have this information out,
For sure, for sure. And then let's see. I think what else info we've got access to. The let's see, the link that you sent from Sirby is basically the image we just went over. There is a thread from Centro that has some new leaks as well. Notably, nothing like really important. It says 103 new Pokemon, 400 total, with like 40 plus being home transfer only. Which, like, if you look at the image, is what we came up with. So,
yeah,
sure.
So it's like essentially like 440 Pokemon that'll be played.
Yeah.
But there's restricteds in that 40 list. There's mythicals in that 40 list, which we won't be able to do use for VGC like early on. It kind of fits the whole like, hey, Blastoise and Venusaur can be transferred into Sword and Shield. You just can't use them yet. Or hey, here's the Alolan starters. They're now legal, but they're not in the Pokedex. That's kind of what this feels like.
I think it's fine to do it like that.
Yeah, like you're this way, like you get to use the Hisuian Pokemon that were in PLA, so you get to bring those over. You get to bring over whatever restricted, some of the restricteds for whenever that comes up. You get to bring over these mythicals that technically weren't available, like weren't playable in Sword and Shield. Meloetta, Diancie, I think were the big two that you couldn't bring over to Sword and Shield.
That sounds correct, yes.
And so, like, having access to those in the game could be cool, just for, like, story stuff and whatnot. Not happy that Charizard's running around, but...
Whatever, man.
At least it doesn't have a giant Gigantamax form.
True.
What you do is you take your Charizard, you turn it into a ground type with terrestrialization, and then just blow up every rock and electric type that they were going to send your way to blow you up.
And still die to water.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
And I think that's about it. I'm not gonna lie, I am exhausted.
Same.
I am.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, you're telling me. When this comes out, it'll be just about a week of me sounding like this. Friday was terrible. Friday was absolutely terrible. I had no voice.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to record a bunch of stuff on Friday. And I'm just like, yes, it's not going to happen. I physically am not going to be able to. And I didn't do it Wednesday or Thursday because I didn't feel great. And like I knew that I was going to have a lot of congestion and stuff going on as well. And like I would really prefer not to make a lot of content with me sounding like this. Obviously, you know, we pushed back recording as much as we possibly could, not only to help me, but like you had your Unite tournament yesterday, so like we weren't able to do it normally like we do on Saturdays, so It's been a week, man.
I had a lot of fun at the Unite thing, though.
I'm glad. I'm really glad.
I had a lot of fun meeting new people, playing with new people. Got to kind of stroke my Unite ego there for a little bit because I feel like I played really well. We just ran into some really good people. You're muted still, bud.
Didn't you say like the two teams that you lost to were like the two teams that basically went and won the event?
So we played. Oh goodness, I could pull the bracket up real quick. It wouldn't be too terribly hard. Everyone, Carter's going to be really small for a little bit. Don't worry about it.
It's all right. I'm going to sit here and look at the Sunday Night Football scores.
I'm about to say who's winning.
It is currently 10-0 Ravens over the Bengals.
Nice.
At 8.5 left in the second. So we've officially timestamped this episode as to when it's being recorded.
Yeah. So like Carter said, I played in the Wide Leagues Unite Shuffle on Saturday. Had a lot of fun there. Shout out to the Backstreet Burbs. We ended up going 2-2. Blazing V Stars ended up winning the whole kit and caboodle, and they're the team that knocked us into losers. And then we won our first loser set against Wiglet. And then we had to play against Dat Boy Muck and his teammate Lacoding, which for those that follow Unite, they probably recognize those names because those are actual, like, members on a team.
Gotcha.
And we ended up losing 2-0 to them and knocked us out of the tournament. So I still had a lot of fun. This is my PSA. I'm looking for a Unite team.
If you know anyone who knows anyone, I know a guy.
Let me know. Let me know.
Yep.
I am a defender all-rounder player with very good game knowledge and loves to start fights.
I feel that. I, on the other hand, do not like starting fights because I always lose them. So if I play defensively, that means I won't lose, right?
Not always true.
Can confirm, not always true.
But anywho, you ready to get out of here, bub?
I am exhausted, yes.
Get us out of here.
Oh, fantastic. So as always, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're listening over here on YouTube. If you're listening on any of the audio-only podcast forms, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can get notifications when new stuff goes live there. If you're over on Apple or Spotify, make sure you drop us a 5-star review. It really does help us out.
Yep.
Go ahead and follow us over on Twitter at LR Lessons, myself at Mr. Missouri25, Carl's at Musical VGC. You can find Carl and myself both on Twitch as well, at Mr. Missouri25 and at Musical. Past that, you can go ahead and join our community Discord, where, you can come help me be better at Overwatch, I guess. This is me officially announcing that I'm looking to not suck. I don't know. I've enjoyed the game the little bit I've actually got to play. So, I will be playing it casually and enjoying my life. And I might have all the characters unlocked by the time they announce the third game.
Who knows?
Let's see. Past that, you can always go and check out the website. While you're there, go ahead and click the merch page and go pick you up some sweet, sweet merch. But if you're not want to pick up merch, because I understand it can be pricey, but still want to support the show, you can always do that over on Anchor for as little as 20 or 25 cents an episode. You can pay for my medical bills from me needing to go to the doctor to get my voice back. So, I think that's everything.
Yep, that's it.
So, if you all don't want me to sound like this next week, that link for Anchor's down in the show notes. Please, by all means.
Begging for money over here.
Look, man, it's got to work eventually, right? But that is going to be it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and until next week, have a good one. Peace.